Starting up on YouTube, Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I am Xander. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here soon, and you, of course, you. Thank you so much for watching, whether it's live or at some other point in the space-time continuum. Of views of you, and I really appreciate it. Today is, of course, Wednesday, aka Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. This show's about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 3102 BC, the epoch origin of the Kali Yuga. The fourth and final Yuga of Hinduism, started with the death of Krishna. That is a long time ago. And we're going to skip ahead a few thousand years. We're being joined right now by the Loon.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, as we're going catapulting ahead a few thousand years, did I hear?
Yeah, we started in 3102 BC.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'll read it again for you here. Like, epoch origin of the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the fourth and final Yuga of Hinduism, started with the death of Krishna. So,
Okay.
yeah. 749, Kaak Yipiaj Chan Kaawil, known as the Smoke Shell, ascended to the throne of the Maya city of Kopan. All right. 1219, Jerusalem was retaken by the Christian Crusader kingdom in a peace treaty between Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II and Egyptian ruler Al-Kamil. 1229, just 10 years later, the Sixth Crusade, Frederick II, Holy Roman Emperor, signed a 10-year truce. Now, wait a minute. With Al-Kamil regaining Jerusalem, Nazareth, and Bethlehem with neither military engagements nor support from the papacy. Now, wait a minute. This sounds like the same thing. It's 10 years apart, though. So I'm going to discrepancy. Oh. 1268, Battle of Wissembourg. Livonian brothers of the sword fought the forces of Novgorod and Pskov, led by Dmitry of Percival near Rakovir in modern-day Estonia. Both sides claimed victory. However, this isn't edited of our primary source. It used to say the Livonian brothers of the sword were defeated by Dovmont of Pskov in the Battle of Raknovar. So they changed it to both sides claim victory.
Okay.
A little interesting there.
Yeah, how do both sides claim victory?
Well, if it's a draw, then it's propaganda.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, blah, blah, we didn't lose, so we won. For example, one that I know of is during the Civil War, the U.S. Civil War, or I guess the American Civil War. The two ironclad ships fought for hours, and neither really hurt the other, and both sides did claim victory. You know, because they didn't lose, so, you know.
Well, you always say, yeah, we got what we wanted, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. 3058, Treaty of Zadar. The Venetian Republic lost influence over Dalmatia in exchange for ending hostilities with the King of Hungary and Croatia, Louis I. So... And Dalmatia, that's where the Dalmatian dogs come from, that breed. From that.
Are you serious?
I believe so, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. 1478, Duke of Clarence George Plantagenet was convicted of treason against his older brother Edward IV of England and was privately executed in the Tower of London, allegedly by being drowned in a butt of Momsey wine. What's a butt of wine? Like,
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to look that up here. What is a butt of wine? Is a butt. That's weird. Butt unit. Okay. The butt is an obsolete English measure of liquid volume equaling 2 hogsheads, being between 450 and 1,060 liters by various definitions. That is quite a range there.
Yeah.
So no wonder it's... Now, I'm curious, where did Dalmatians come from? I just want to make sure I'm not just... Croatian hunting / carriage / coach dog breed. Let's see. Oh, yeah, right there. The origins of this breed can be traced to Croatia and the historical region of Dalmatia. Okay. So I wasn't full of shit this time.
This time.
This time. Well, yeah, I just gotta, we have the technology, and instead of just sitting here just blowing smoke at my, front rear end, I actually back up, or sometimes I prove myself wrong. You know?
Well, that's good, too.
Yeah. 1478, Duke of Clarence. Oh, yeah, we got that one. George, Duke of Clarence, was convicted of treason against his older brother, Edward IV of England, and was executed in private at the Tower of London. 1563, Huguenot Jean de Polarat assassinated French General Duke Francois de Guise with a shot from his pistol.
Oops.
Yeah. 1637, during the 80 Years' War, a Spanish fleet located off the coast of Cornwall in England intercepted an important Anglo-Dutch merchant convoy of 44 vessels, which had a six warship escort. The Spanish ultimately destroyed and/or captured 20 of these ships. Yikes. 1685, Fort St. Louis was established by a Frenchman at Matagorda Bay, forming the basis for France's claim to Texas. Yep. 1688, Quakers considered drafting formal protest of slavery in Germantown, Pennsylvania. So they thought about it. 1735, the first opera performed in America, Flora, in Charleston, South Carolina. It was also known as the Hob in the Well. Hold on a second. The ballad opera called Flora, or Hob in the Well, went down in history as the first opera of any kind to be produced in North America, Charleston, South Carolina. Now this is saying...
That's an odd place for it to be.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that this secondary source say it was produced. Meanwhile, the primary source says it was performed. So you can't produce and perform on the same day. Can you?
Well, producing it means you're getting ready to perform.
Yeah. So, and producing also means it's the first... it's a ballad opera, so it's the first ballad opera or first opera ever in the North American, territory.
Would that be a ballet?
No, a ballad. A ballad, like a singing.
Okay.
Yeah. 1787, Holy Roman Emperor Joseph II banned children under 8 from labor. Good. Let kids be kids. 1791, Congress passed a law admitting the state of Vermont to the Union, effective March 4th. After that state had existed for 14 years as a de facto independent, largely unrecognized state. Now, as you told me that between the end of the Revolution and the actual formation of the United States of America, there was about 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's telling me to image search this. So what is this right here? This is what I want to read. Open image and new tab. Articles of Confederation said nothing about admitting new states to the U.S. Congress passed 2 laws. The second law, Northwest Ordinance of 1787, which organized Northwest Territories, set up government and outlawed slavery, provided for a region to be divided into 3 to 5 separate territories in the future. A new territory with population of 5,000 adult men could elect their own lawmakers. And with 60,000 free people living in a territory, it could ask Congress to become a state. So, laying out... that's been a question in my mind, what makes a state a state? Here we go.
You need at least 60,000 people.
Yeah. How many people, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Only Congress has the power to admit new states to the Union. Congress first passed an enabling act, an act directing the people of the territory to frame a proposed state construction. If Congress agreed to statehood after reviewing the submitted state constitution, it passed an act of admission, an act creating the new state. All right. It's pretty cool. It's 1804, Ohio legislature approved the establishment of Ohio University at Athens as the first university in Ohio. The first classes were held in 1809, 5 years later. All right. 1828, that's kind of fast when you think about it. That's, I wonder if they built a university or just this is Ohio University in Athens. So, land grant college. Yeah. Yeah, this goes with it right here. So... the first U.S. land grant college when it was chartered. Okay. 1828, more than 100 vessels were destroyed in a storm in Gibraltar. And I'm not sure if this is the right picture, but I'm about to sneeze, so I'm going to mute my mic one moment. Hold on. There we go. All right, let's see here. Put this back in its little corner. There we go. 1834, U.S. labor newspaper The Man began publishing as a daily in New York City. All right. You want to read The Man? The man keep getting you down and all that stuff. 1839, Detroit Boat Club formed and still exists. And all right. So this was some.
Club, huh?
Yeah, this was some kind of naval engagement. Oh, this was
That's the war.
that was the Spanish one.
Yeah.
When they captured like those 20 vessels or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And here's the Detroit Boat Club. It's still in existence today, apparently.
How about that?
Yeah, I wonder if they still have that same building or not. 1849, the first regular steamboat service to California started, either now or February 28th. So between...
Steamboat?
Yeah.
In California?
Well, like, maybe there are rivers. Maybe like up in the Sacramento area, Northern California,
No.
maybe they're also traveling, like at least along the Pacific coast. So
Something like LA to San Francisco or something?
yeah, maybe. 1850, a California legislature created 9 Bay Area counties. Okay. 1856, the American Party, the Know Nothings, convened in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to nominate its first presidential candidate, former President Millard Fillmore. Huh.
I know that name.
Yeah, well, he was a president.
Yeah.
So, it's...
But the Know-Nothings? I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Like, birth of the Know Nothing Party. Like, let's see if it can give me a bigger image. Nope. Key terms, nativism, the Know Nothing Party / the American Party, election of 1856, Millard Fillmore. Anti-immigration. I'm liking the sound of this. Summary, strong anti-immigration views, mostly against Germans and the Irish. Against the Roman Catholic, Know-Nothings were mostly Protestant. Ran for election of 1856 with Millard Fillmore. Division between North and South, split in party over slavery issues, only ran for one election. Only concerned about immigration, not slavery. I'm starting to disagree with them. So, well, agree with them in some things and disagree with others. So, they should be concerned about slavery. And, anyway, 1857, Chinese residents in the fledgling state of Sarawak rebelled against the White Raj, James Brooke. The White Raj being like a white guy as the Raj, the British Raj became India. Like their leaders were like the Raj or something like that.
Yeah.
1861, Confederate President Jefferson Davis was inaugurated at Montgomery, Alabama during the U.S. Civil War. 1861 as well, with Italian unification nearly complete, Victor Emmanuel II of Piedmont, Savoy, and Sardinia assumed the title of King of Italy. All right. 1876, direct telegraph link established between Britain and New Zealand. Huh. That's wild. How do they do that? A direct telegraph link. I mean,
don't know.
I mean that's like thousands of miles of water. It has to be something connect through a connector series.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's I don't know. That's
It's a
weird.
lot of water.
Yeah, I can't imagine them doing something like that in 1876.
Yeah.
And if they did, then why are we at where we're at now? Why are we marveling at something that happened? 1878, John Tunstall was murdered by outlaw Jesse Evans, sparking the Lincoln County War in Lincoln County, New Mexico. 1879, French sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi was awarded the U.S. patent for his design for the Statue of Liberty.
Ah.
All right. Actually, no, I'm not here yet. Okay. 1884, Russian police seized all copies of Leo Tolstoy's book, What I Believe In. That's what this book is here. So, that's what he believes in, and maybe it's not communism, so... Actually, no, this is way before communism. This is 1884. So, this is during the Tsar. Okay. 1885, Mark Twain published The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn in the U.S. All right. 1893, the Barnum Museum opened in Bridgeport, Connecticut, dedicated to the life of P.D. Barnum.
Yeah, Barnum and Bailey. Two
Yeah.
circuses that finally came together.
Yep. 1896, Cave of the Winds at Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls. Went almost dry for the first time in 50 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. 1899, 80 degrees Fahrenheit recorded in San Francisco, California. So much for that climate change, huh? Over 100 years ago, 80 degrees in the middle of February in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Can't blame that on global warming, global cooling, climate change, pollution, ozone layer, the freaking the gay frogs. You can't use any excuse. The world's the world. God, people have got to just open their eyes to reality. 1899 as well, San Francisco was named as a port of dispatch for Army transports. That makes sense. They're a big bay area and everything. 1900, Battle of Paardeberg. 1,270 British were killed or injured, so casualties. During the Second Boer War, Imperial forces suffered their worst single-day loss of life on Bloody Sunday, the first day of the Battle of Paardeberg. 1901, H. Cecil Booth patented a dust-removing suction cleaner. Sounds like the predecessor to a vacuum. So,
sounds exactly like a vacuum.
yeah, well, I looked it up, and it's a whole mechanism here. Like, he has a horse-drawn carriage thing, so this is a big thing. So it looks like, it's something for, like how we have people come out and, wash cars, if you're at work or, like our neighbors. They have... I actually haven't seen their cars getting washed in a long time now that I think about it. So, but anyway, but then this looks like it's a smaller one, the vacuum cleaner company. So, it is a predecessor. But look at this. Look at this. That looks rather large.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 1903, In Dahomey, the first black stadium musical to perform on Broadway, opened at the New York Theater, starring George Walker and Burt Williams, with the music by Marion Cook. All right. And removed from primary source for some reason. So, it's a little strange. 1906, Edouard de Lavallee formed the Belgian Olympic Committee in Brussels. 1908, the first U.S. postage stamps and rolls were issued. Little rolls.
You could buy a roll.
Yeah. 908, the American ambassador to Japan was given a note by the Japanese in which they agreed to restrict Japanese emigration, emigration, which is they're coming or they're leaving. Okay, so Japanese emigration, so Japanese from leaving Japan to the U.S. This become known as the Gentleman's Agreement. Okay, so the U.S. ambassador to Japan is given a note by the Japanese. So the Japanese are giving our ambassador a note saying that they agreed to restrict the flow of people from their own country coming to ours specifically, if I'm reading that correctly. 1911, the first official flight with airmail took place in Allahabad, British India, when Henry Paquette, a 23-year-old pilot, delivered 6,500 letters to Naini, about 10 kilometers away. All right, 6.2 miles. And he was, that's pretty cool. Here's an image of that aircraft. First aerial post.
Yeah.
I wonder where he stored 6,500 letters on that thing. Anyway. 1913, French modernist painting Nude Descending a Staircase by Marcel Duchamp caused an uproar when shown in New York. Well, yeah, because it's pornography. 1915, Germany began a blockade of Britain. The U-boat campaign, the Imperial German Navy instituted unrestricted submarine warfare in the waters around Great Britain and Ireland. But what about Scotland? 1917, the first major strike of the Russian February Revolution started at the giant Pluto factory in Petrograd. NS March 3, new style, I guess. 1918, Germany renewed its offensive against the Russians, making dramatic gains against disorganized and dispirited Russian troops. Moving on up to 1922, Kennesaw Mountain Landis resigned his federal judgeship to give full attention to job as Major League Baseball commissioner. So, yeah, he was a judge.
That's what they said.
Yeah, he was a federal judge from 1905 to 1922. Wow.
He became the baseball commissioner.
That's a pretty wild career change.
Yeah.
1922 as well, the Capper-Volstead Act allowed farmers to buy and sell cooperatively without the risk of prosecution under antitrust laws. Okay, that's good. 1923, U.S. and Canada opened diplomatic relations. Why was it so late? That's very late.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. 1928, the USA 2 beat USA 1 by 0.5 seconds for the 5-man bobsleigh gold medal. At the St. Moritz Winter Olympics, Germany 2 takes bronze. So there's it sounds like
1-2.
Yeah, well no, it sounds like
two
there's
US teams.
Yeah, multiple teams because Germany 2 takes bronze. So the second team of Germany took the bronze.
Right.
That's interesting. 1930, U.S. astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovered the dwarf planet Pluto. While studying photographs taken in January, Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto.
So on this day it was Pluto was discovered?
This is when Pluto, the planet, was discovered.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Keep it a planet.
Yes. Well, it is a planet. It's it's a dwarf planet.
Don't tell me it's dwarf. It's a planet.
See, I'm not going to disagree with your sentiment, but what you need to understand is there are objects larger than Pluto in our asteroid belts. If we're going to give Pluto a full-fledged planet, title, then we have to give the other 65 objects in our solar system, that equal. You have to give credit where credit is due. You can't just arbitrarily make this a planet because you feel like it.
No, they declared a planet in when? February 17th of when? 19 what?
1930, February 18th. Well, no, like they saw a planet, but since then they have discovered objects that are larger than it. So that means that if we're going to call Pluto a planet, we have to call all of those others planets. And all of a sudden, our planets go from 9 to like 40 in our solar system.
Keep Pluto. I'm sorry.
At least it's a dwarf planet. 1930. Now this one's wild. A cow was flown and milked. The milk was sealed in paper containers and parachuted. So the Elm Farm Ollie became the first cow to fly in a fixed-wing aircraft and also the first cow to be milked in said aircraft. While it was airborne, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Why? Because we can. Because why not?
And then they drop the milk in bags?
Yeah, they milked the cow airborne, and then they just parachuted it out in bags, it said here. Paper containers and parachuted. So, okay.
Weird.
Yep. 1932, Japan proclaimed and named Panchuniko in Manchuria, China, as an independent state. The Empire of Japan created the independent state of Manchukuo, the obsolete Chinese name for Manchuria, free from the Republic of China, and installed former Chinese Emperor Asian Gyori as chief executive of the state. I'm trying to find, here it is. And here's an image of that. So you have, of course, the Japanese rising sun in the background, and what appears to be some flag. Maybe that's a flag for Manchuria or something. And they have here the Great Wall, it looks like. So, oh yeah, so this is this appears...
Why is Japan butting in on that?
As I've been saying earlier, like all of those countries hate each other, so they're always getting in each other's business. 1938, Second Sino-Japanese War. During the Nanking Massacre, the Nanking Safety Zone International Committee was renamed Nanking International Rescue Committee, and the safety zone in place for refugees fell apart. More of this Japanese stuff happening. 1942, during World War II, here we go again, the Imperial Japanese Army began the systemic extermination of perceived hostile elements among the Chinese in Singapore.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
1943, a syndicate headed by New York lumberman William D. Cox bought MLB's Philadelphia Phillies for $850,000. 33-year-old Cox was the youngest owner in baseball. I wonder if he still retains that record. 43, German propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels demanded total war from German citizens in speech at Berlin's Shortblast. 43, members of student nonviolent resistance group White Rose was arrested by Nazis after disrupting pamphlets or distributing pamphlets in Munich, Germany. Yeah, fight the power. 44, 15-year-old Joe Newhall signed a contract to play baseball with the Cincinnati Reds just one day after playing in a high school basketball game. Debuts later that year.
Good grief.
Nice. 1946, sailors of the Royal Indian Navy mutinied in Bombay Harbor, from where the action spread throughout the provinces of British India, involving 78 ships, 20 shore establishments, and 20,000 sailors mutinying.
Great.
This is a strike,
Yeah.
or I guess they call it a mutiny in the military. That's like, yeah, that reminds me, I have a newspaper here. Indian sailors in revolt. 6 hours battle with British troops. Like, wow. That is absolutely not good at all. 1947 as well. I'm actually going to see if I have any comments here. Nothing on YouTube. Do I have anything on Rumble? Nope. All right, 1947, First Indochina War. The French gained complete control of Hanoi after forcing the Viet Minh to withdraw to the mountains. 51, three City College of New York baseball players admit to accepting bribes. Wow. 1951, Nepal became a constitutional monarchy. Cool. And Netherlands radio school formed. Oh, all right. 1954, the first Church of Scientology was established in Los Angeles, California. And thus it begins. Yeah. Scientology, you know, the religion that charges you to believe in the evil Lord Xenu and written by a science fiction author. Can anyone say scam? 1955, Baghdad Pact was signed, making Turkey and Iraq a defense alliance. All right. And Operation Teapot, Teapot test shot Wasp, was successfully detonated at the Nevada test site with a yield of 1.2 kilotons. Wasp was the first of 14 shots in the Teapot series. Yeah. 1957, the Kenyan freedom fighter. Now, this is weird. The primary source says Kenyan freedom fighter Dedan Kimathi was executed by hanging by the British colonial government. The other source says Kenyan rebel leader. So, you know, and our source is leftist, so our leftists do love to use the term, oh, he's a freedom fighter, you know?
Yeah.
They love that soft, euphemistic language. 1957, Walter James Bolton became the last person legally executed in New Zealand. 1960, the 8th Winter Olympic Games opened in Squaw Valley, California. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Squaw.
I'm worried they're going to have enough snow, as I said last time we were talking about.
Yeah. 1965, church deacon Jimmy Lee Jackson was beaten and shot during a peaceful march in Marion, Alabama. His death 8 days later inspired the Selma to Montgomery marches. May you rest in peace. 1965, the Gambia became independent from the United Kingdom. And 1967, softball pitcher Eddie Feiner struck out 6 major leaguers. Wow. All right. 1968, Britain commenced a trial of year-round daylight savings time, BST, British Standard Time, 1 hour ahead of GMT, which is global mean with time or something like that. General mean with time. So, GMT. Let me look that up here really quick. What's pardon me? Mean. GMT. Greenwich Mean Time. Okay. Greenwich. There's a W in there. Greenwich Mean Time. All right. Let's see here. 1968, thousands of people in West Berlin demonstrated against U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. And the 10th Winter Olympic Games closed in Grenoble, France. And, yeah. So, 1970, Chicago's 7 defendants were found innocent of inciting to riot. They were found not guilty of conspiring to incite riots in the 1968 Democratic National Convention. Yeah, I'm going to bigger this really quick. I don't know what's the allergies. It's winter. Why am I getting allergies? 1970, U.S. President Richard Nixon launched the Nixon Doctrine. What is this Nixon Doctrine? I'm not a crook. But what is this Nixon Doctrine?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Have to look it up.
We have the technology. Let's look this up here really quick. Nixon Doctrine. Enter. Let's see here. It was the foreign policy of Richard Nixon, who announced in 1969 that the U.S. would assist but not fight for its allies in Asia. It was applied to Vietnam, Iran, Taiwan, Cambodia, and South Korea, and influenced the Carter Doctrine and the Indian Ocean region. Okay. So, you know, I'm gonna add this to the underbar section, you know, in case anybody wants to look at the Nixon Doctrine. Yeah. Just in case anybody, and this will be in the underbar, you know, as I said, after the live stream, of course. 1972, California Supreme Court abolished the death penalty. Here we go. There's the California Supreme Court in the case of People versus Anderson, or 6 Cal.3D 628, invalidated the state's death penalty and commuted the sentence of all death row inmates to life imprisonment. Yeah, because that's what we need. We need to just spend more money to you know, have a roof over their head and, you know, feed them 3 times a day. You know, the taxpayers just have just too much money. They just apparently have too much money. Tax the hell out of them, right? So
I don't like the death penalty, though.
You know, if you kill somebody, you've killed yourself. You're done. If you kill somebody in Texas, they'll kill you. You know, why have other people spend their money on, you know, like, because taxation, you know, is basically theft. They're being, you know, like, with the threat of imprisonment themselves, they're having their money forcibly taken from them. And some of that is going to go towards people in prison? No. No. If you throw your life away like that, like, you know, if you're a murderer, if you're a violent criminal, like, you know, if you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison, bye. You know? Because all you are is a money sink at that point. You're literally just a blight on society.
Well, it's expensive to house them for sure. But a lot of life and sentences do have parole times. Now, life without parole, that means you're going to be there forever.
Oh, so you want to give a murderer a chance to go back out and kill again?
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying.
They shouldn't be paroled. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, once you're done, you're done. So, anyway, 1973, a 54-kilogram octopus measuring 7 meters across captured in Hood Canal, Washington. That is huge.
Wow.
Yeah, 7 meters across. So, yeah, tentacle to tentacle.
That had to be Washington, D.C., right?
Hood Canal, Washington. State. Oh, great. It's over here.
They're not up there. It's too cold.
Well, I don't know. Here's a picture. Like, it's not the same one, but, like, this is another.
What is that?
That's an octopus.
Wow.
Like its main body is this whole thing, but you can see it's enormous.
Yeah.
So
I guess so. Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah. Where are we? 1974, NASA launched Italian satellite San Marco C2, 235-843 km. 74 as well, U.S. Ambassador to India Daniel Moyeman presented a $2,046,700,000 check.
Jeez.
Yeah, and actually, I want to look this up because there's a thing talking about it in ruples or something, images. Yeah, here we go. Open image, a new tab. U.S. Ambassador to the Indian government, to Daniel Patrick Moynihan, wrote the largest check ever. The check for 16,640,000,000 rupees was written to the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi on February 18th, 1974. Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
1975, Italy broadens abortion law. All right. 77, U.S. rock band Kiss played their first concert in their hometown venue, a Madison Square Garden in New York City. All right.
Yeah.
Their first concert in their hometown venue of okay, so they've been around since before that, right? That's not their first concert ever.
No.
I was going to say their first concert and they're doing it in Madison Square Garden. Dang, man. What kind of cheat codes do they have? I still say, because like I told you about that and it's not just Kiss, you know, there's other bands that other, Little People mimic, but there's a Little People cover band of Kiss. And, the Short People and all that stuff. But, put on the makeup, the wig, everything and all that stuff. I say they should call themselves Smooch. So... 1977, Space Shuttle Enterprise took its maiden flight affixed atop a Boeing 747 space shuttle or aircraft carrier. So, basically an airplane.
Yeah.
So, and they want to charge you for having, your carry-on slightly too big. Ain't that a bitch? 1977, the Xinjiang 61st Regiment Farm fire started during Chinese New Year when a firecracker ignited a memorial wreath of the late Mao Zedong, killing 694 personnel. It remains the deadliest fireworks accident in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, Mao Zedong, even after he dies, he's still killing people.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 1977, 1,000 armed soldiers raided Calcutta Republic, the commune of Nigerian singer Fela Kuti, leading to the death of Funayeleno Anikalopoulou Kuti. 1 year later, the first Ironman triathlon, swim, bike ride, and run marathon was held, beginning and ending at the Aloha Tower in Honolulu Harbor of Oahu, Hawaii.
That's crazy. I've always said that Ironman thing is just crazy.
It is, yeah. Like, if I had gotten into exercising, I would have liked to try it, Yeah. 1979, 21st Daytona 500, Richard Petty won after race leaders Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison collided with each other on final lap. First 500-mile race broadcast from start to finish. All right. 79, miniseries Roots Next Generations premiered on ABC TV.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Yeah. Well, Roots, and this is, a sequel series.
Oh, okay.
This is Roots, next
sense.
generations.
Yeah.
Roots, Next Generation. So, or semicolon, whatever. 1979, snow fell in the Sahara Desert. That's unusual.
Yeah.
1981, Jeff Erlanger, at the age of 10, a spinal tumor survivor and quadriplegic, appeared on children's television program Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, discusses his disability and demonstrates his electric wheelchair. That's heartbreaking, still, you know. Like,
kudos to him.
Yeah.
He's living his life.
Yeah. 1981, 20-year-old Edmonton center Wayne Gretzky became the first player in NHL history to score 5 career hat tricks before the age of 21, scoring 5 goals and 2 assists in the 9-2 Oilers home win against St. Louis. Dang. 83, Indiana Pacers lost 121-94 in Milwaukee, beginning a 28 NBA game losing streak on the road.
Yikes.
Yeah. 83, 13 people died and 1 was seriously injured in the Waumea massacre in Seattle. It is said to be the largest robbery-motivated mass murder in U.S. history. 1984, Finnish cross-country skier Marija Lisa Hamilton won the 20K gold medal at the Sarajevo Winter Olympics. Swept all 3 individual events, also winning 5K and 10K events. Wow. That is incredible. I'm trying to find the name here, 1984. Yeah, right here. Why does she not get a highlight? Who the hell is this guy?
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah. 1984, revised Concordat between Italy and Vatican was signed. Some kind of document. What do you know what a Concordat is?
No.
Let's see it. Or I guess a Concord. Like, you know, a Concord is a type of document. Concordat is a convention between the Holy See and a sovereign state that defines the relationship between the Catholic Church and the state in matters that concern both the recognition and privileges of the Catholic Church in a particular country and with secular matters that affect church interests. Okay.
So it's the church and some political branch or
yes.
something.
Yeah. 1986, anti-smoking advertisement aired for the first time on television featuring Yul Brynner. He died of smoking-induced lung cancer on October 10th, 1985.
Oh,
wow.
Man.
So I wonder if that was one of the commercials where it's like, by the time this commercial airs, I'll already be dead. They did that. Like, they legitimately did that.
So he died in 86.
In 85.
85, and this was 86?
Yes. So they filmed a commercial with him.
Yeah.
And they probably waited until after his death to release it to push that agenda. I mean, smoking isn't healthy, don't get me wrong. You know, it's bad for you.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, the path to hell is paved in good intentions. And if you start doing things like that, I mean, honestly, they shouldn't have aired the commercial to begin with. He's dead. Respect him. You know?
Maybe that's what his request. They'll do it if you wait till I'm dead. You won't ever.
That's the only way I can think of accepting that. So, 1986, San Antonio guard Alvin Robertson scored NBA's second quadruple double, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals in 120-114 win over Phoenix Suns. Whoa, he dominated.
10 steals is what's crazy.
Yeah. 1988, Federal Road Safety Corps was established in Nigeria. In 1992, U.S. amateur astronomer Peter Collins discovered Nova Cygini in 1992, observed from Boulder, Colorado. 94, Shreveport Pirates joined Canadian Football League as 4th U.S.-based team. They fold in 1995. I guess they didn't have what it took. 98, 2 white separatists were arrested in Nevada and accused of plotting a biological attack on New York City subways. Now, this just is weird. Why? Okay, I have to bark this. I did not even see this. Before I go into that one, though, like, this, it just sounds like they're trying to push some kind of propaganda by shoehorning a fictitious thing at an earlier time and trying to pass it off as history. Like, you know, 2 white separatists are, you know, like, with how the world's going on today, I don't know. Like, you know, every day we've had examples of them editing and removing things.
So you don't think that's true?
I don't know. I'm not saying it's not, but it's saying...
how it's written, for sure.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to push something. And thank God I saw this picture. Because shame on me for not highlighting this to begin with. 1998, Andrea Bocelli made his operatic debut as Rodolfo in La Boheme at the Teatro Comunale in Calgary. Cagliari. Oh. And for those of you who do not know, like, you know, Andrea Bocelli, you probably heard the song Conti Partiro. It's a very famous song. He sings it. I think he was the original maker of it. I'm not sure. 2001, the 43rd Daytona 500. Michael Waltrip won the tragic race. This was the last lap, claimed the life of Dale Earnhardt, prompting the sport to implement new safety procedures. So, may you rest in peace, Dale Earnhardt. 2001 as well, FBI agent Robert Hansen was arrested for spying for the Soviet Union. He was ultimately convicted and sentenced to life in prison, where he died. So, in all that time, taxpayer money just flushing down the toilet as if we don't have enough debt. 2001, sand plate conflict, inter-ethnic violence between Dayaks and Madusri broke out in sand pits, central Kalimantan in Indonesia, ultimately resulting in more than 500 deaths and 100,000 Maduris displaced from their homes. Wow. And people think, the biggest threat to the world is white supremacy. Yeah, sure. We're a minority in the world. What are you talking about? 2003, Comet C/2002 V1 NEAT made perihelion seen by SOHO. So I think that's the actually no, that's the Schumacher comet. We've been talking about it landing on the comet. I'm not sure if this is the same one. Like it says NEAT. Maybe this is something else. 2003, nearly 200 people died in the Daegu subway fire in South Korea. The other source says 192 people died when an arsonist set fire to a subway train in Daegu, South Korea.
Jeez.
Yeah. A runaway freight train carrying sulfur, petrol, and fertilizer caught fire and exploded near Nashir in Iran, killing 295 people, including 182 rescue workers. This was 1 year after the previous disaster. This is 2004. So, wow. So, like, it must have combusted and exploded or something because, there's rescue workers there trying to get people.
Yeah.
Jeez. 2007, 49th Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick won by 0.02 seconds over Mark Martin in the closest finish since the first race at Daytona in 1959.
Good grief.
Wow. 2010, Bibliothèque Nationale de France purchased the memoirs of Giacomo Casanova for €7 million. 2010 as well, WikiLeaks published the first of hundreds of thousands of classified documents disclosed by the soldier now known as Chelsea Manning. Godspeed, Chelsea. 2013, $50 million worth of diamonds was stolen in an armed robbery at Brussels Airport, Belgium. Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah. I remember covering that by a news show or something, or hearing about it at least. 2014, Ukrainian Revolution of 2014 began as protesters, riot police, and unknown shooters took part in violent events in the capital of Kiev, culminating after 5 days in the ouster of President Viktor Yanukovych. Okay. It says here at least 76 people are killed and hundreds are injured in clashes between riot police and demonstrators in Kiev, Ukraine. 2016, Pope Francis questions U.S. presidential hopeful Donald Trump's Christianity over his call to build a wall on the Mexican border. You question it all you want, says the man on the literal golden throne. Shut up, Pope. 2019, 16 U.S. states, including California and New York, band together to sue President Trump over his use of emergency powers to build a border wall. God. Just let him build this freaking wall, guys.
He did.
Yeah. 2019, 25-year-old murder of a woman solved when police in Minnesota run a DNA through a genealogy site and find a suspect. Wow. So the murder was 25 years old. Not the murderer, but the case.
Yeah, the case itself.
So they reopened the case and they found a suspect. Wow. And I hope they found the person responsible. We also have 2019 Australian political parties hacked by a sophisticated state actor. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said just months ahead of general election. That sounds like they're trying to do their own wishy-washy election stuff over there. British Parliamentary Committee issued a scathing report on Facebook accusing company of breaking privacy laws, calling for new regulations. Just ban Facebook. Simple. 2019, Hawaii founder Ren Jagifi said, quote, "There's no way the U.S. can crush us," end quote, in an interview with BBC, saying his daughter's arrest was politically motivated. Well, we got to crush Huawei. Now we got to completely annihilate them. 2020, Ashraf Ghani was declared the winner of Afghanistan's presidential election 5 months after the vote due to fraud allegations requiring a recount. 2020 as well, Boy Scouts of America filed for bankruptcy amid hundreds of sexual abuse lawsuits, suspending those claims. Jeez. We also have President Donald Trump commuted the 14-year sentence of former governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojev's corruption conviction. All right. Do you know anything about that? Never heard of this guy.
No.
Okay.
I do not.
Swarms of desert locusts affecting East Africa reached South Sudan, threatening a food crisis.
No.
Yikes.
The locust is a scary deal.
Yeah. 2021, Facebook blocks users in Australia from accessing news sites in response to proposed new laws for tech companies to pay to show news content. That's awful. NASA's Perseverance rover successfully landed at Jezero crater, Mars, on mission to find microfossils. All right.
Didn't we talk about that? They were exploring that area to land.
That was the moon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. 2021, nearly 7 million people were required to boil their water in Texas as unusually harsh winter storm in the state continues. So I guess all their pipes froze.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like if you're boiling your water.
Well, yeah, but that's not having anything to do with your pipes freezing. Boil your water usually takes some kind of contaminant out.
What would a contaminant have to do with everything being cold?
I know. I don't know.
Huh. 2022, Severance, produced by Ben Stiller and starring Adam Scott, Britt Lower, and Patricia Arquette, premiered on Apple TV+. Adam Scott's. Who's Adam Scott's?
Don't know. I knew the actor in there, the other one. I knew one of them in there.
Yeah, Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't Adam Scott the
I don't know.
he's an actor and comedian. Okay. Oh, that guy. Okay. I remember him. I thought he was... Okay, I marked that because I thought he was, he was a comic. He was a comic, like a strip cartoonist.
Oh.
I don't know. Not Travis Scott. Travis Scott is that awful person. 2022, scientific studies said the sudden drop in emissions due to COVID-19, the Kung Flu shutdowns, caused a record rainfall in eastern China in 2020 that killed hundreds. How?
What?
How?
What? That makes no sense.
I know, right? How stupid. How stupid. 2022, Storm Eunice, also known as Zeynep or Nora, moved across Europe and the UK with gusts of 120 miles per hour, killing at least 17 people and cutting off power to millions. 2023, global financial system is dysfunctional and unfair and is failing developing countries, according to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at opening of African Union Leaders Summit in Ethiopia. 2024, a poll by historians ranks Joe Biden as the 14th best U.S. president, with Donald Trump ranked last. As a historian, I find this absolutely reprehensible, and I demand every historian who took part in this bullshit to be disbarred and disqualified because they are clearly full of shit. They do not know who was the guy in 1913 that we both hate? Woodrow Wilson. Yeah. Woodrow Wilson is the absolute scummiest of the scum pieces of shit. 2024, Singaporean chess prodigy Aswath Kashlik, at 8 years old, was the youngest player to defeat a grandmaster in a classic tournament game at the Borgerdorfer Stainless Open in Switzerland. Congratulations.
8 years old.
Yeah.
My, oh my.
2025, the royal tomb of Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose II, reigning from about 1493 to 1479 BC, was discovered west of the Valley of the Kings, the first tomb of a pharaoh found since Tutankhamun in 1922. So 103 years.
Yeah,
wow, yeah.
To this discovery.
Yeah, well, I remember it because people were going on about, like, we do not, like, the world is bad enough, we do not need to start an Egyptian curse, you know? So... And last but not least, the United States and Russia held talks in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, over the war in Ukraine without a representative from Ukraine. That's kind of dumb.
What are you going to accomplish there?
Yeah. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion for more. You saw what we scrolled through this whole show. That's only from 2 sources. It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside of what you think you know, to grow and to find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from your own, and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of past events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you are you. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Yes. In here and in here.